Hey guys, my name is Luca Bellis and I am a professional drummer from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Hi, my name is Joseph Jsticks and I am a drummer. I play drums and I've been playing drums for close to plus minus 20, 25 years.
Jsticks, we just got a chance to listen to the new DPA 4055 kick drum mic. What are your thoughts?
Precious. I need this. Man, I must say though, this is dope though. Like this is dope, and plus the size as well. Also very compact. Like it's compact. It's very spacious. When it comes to putting it into your bass drum, very good. I love the size. They always say the size is everything, but in this case, the way it's small, you can just fit in anyway. Plus, even the way this ones actually look right now, you just sneak them in. I love it. Plus, it's actually very, strong as well. So
and it's long enough to get if you want to get more punch from the beater skin. Yeah.
Imagine something like this right now on a, what you call it, stadium, for example.
Yeah.
Dude, like this is dope. I want this.
100%.
Like I said, precious. I'm getting this right. Am I getting this?
I knew it.
Hectic. Yeah, good job, man. And for you?
The music samples we just listened to, like they were in normal acoustic kick drums and all flats, and there was a Ludwig vintage kit and there was Yamaha modern kits. And what I found really interesting is both of those kick drum sounds. It basically captured the flat response, but it captured the low end and the bit of that slap from that speeder. And it's very clean. That's just off the bat. There's no mixing, and you always like this is
no EQs even.
Exactly, it's an amazing sound.
I'm just thinking about the endless possibilities of this thing right now. Hey, like you can do so much with this thing.
100%.
I'm just thinking about the shows, guys. I need this. I need this.
What I'm thinking? That would also sound good on a big floor top.
Dude, yeah.
And
your 16-inch and whatnot.
People put those EMAs or like those big fat snare drum skins on floor tops. You put that and you just make it sound like a second kick drum.
Kick drum.
Floor. That would
definitely
be awesome, actually.
Yeah, I think last time I actually did it last time, but then we used like a normal, like those big ones. But I think this actually worked well because it's much more compact and also very small and very spacious as well. So just like I said, just sneak it in to any floor tom. You can even have 6 floor toms, even have like a marimba vibe, and you have like different kind of sounds, but then all still being captured by this excellent mic. 100%. I think this is dope. Guys, I need this, eh?
And you can fit it in your pocket. I mean, when's the last time you could fit a kick mic in your pocket?
It's mine now.
I'm not actually sure about that. I mean, you have to take like a separate case.
Do you understand?
For it, so that's
like this,
amazing.
guys, these are very good. Like, yo, I love them. I'm in love.
So Jsticks, we've looked at a few other kick drum mics and basically the EQ curve that's already existing in them. This is a completely flat response kick drum mic. What is your take on like pre-EQ'd kick drum microphones as opposed to something flat like this?
Well, after seeing what I just saw right now and also hearing what I just heard just now, I think this is much more better. Why? Because I'm more of a natural drummer. Like I love natural sound. So basically, what this gives me is literally a natural flat response and also the boom as well. You can get it as well. Natural. Literally, when you play, just that kick alone will just sound more natural on a stage. On a big stage, it can be a stadium, it can be a club. But you still get a much more revolutionized, sound. Exactly. So I think I love this. This is much more better.
And there's more you can do with it editing-wise, right? Like if you've got the flat response recorded, there's so much more afterwards that if you want to lift the lows or cut out all the boxiness. Whereas if it's pre-EQ'd, you think, oh, cool, that sounds cool offhand, but it's very limited what you can do with it. And we're talking both live and studio here. I think
prefer this.
I'd agree with everything you're saying. I prefer flat mics for that exact reason. And this doesn't sound like a flat raw mic. It's picking up that low end. It's picking up the slap from the skin. And basically, what you want to do, what you want to increase, what you want to cut after that is just, I think it's way better, to be honest.
It also helps with regards to wherever you're going to as well. You can be going to like a club, or you can go to like a jazz club, for example, or even just a a big theater, for example,
Yeah.
you know, and you still get the same response, but then obviously depending on how you tune your drum,
Yeah.
but you still get the much more natural sound coming out of it from this mic. So I think
Yeah, I agree.
this is better.
But also, that's a good point. We were talking about tuning kits and that, and it's you put in so much effort into us as
tuning.
drummers choosing the right skin, tuning the kick drum, and then that all gets taken away if it's pre-EQ'd because it's already just automatically hearing the sounds at once. Whereas if it's flat, this is flat. It literally sounds like the kick drum that you've been tuning.
Natural sound,
which is what you want, right?
Definitely.
You've used DPA mics before on various shows, tours, theater, etc. So can you tell us about your experiences when using DPA mics when you have?
Sure. Definitely. I mean, prior to that, I you hear about the I guess the standard shows and all that,
Yes,
that are going on. But I think I first used DPA when I was doing Priscilla Queen of the Desert, the shows in Cape Town and Joburg.
Yeah.
And first of all, I remember they were really small and really compact, which was awesome. And coming from playing other venues, rock venues, you used to just put it on any mic you want, even just a snare mic on the tom to get the sound.
Yeah.
And these things were really, I felt very comfortable with my setup. I could bring the cymbals down; they didn't get in the way of anything. And unfortunately, when you're playing theater shows, you don't ever get to hear your kits because you're always behind it when it's happening.
Yeah.
But a few times, I would always make our assistant sound engineer kind of go and give me a kick and a snare and a bit of a roll, so I could go stand in the theater just because I love the sound and hearing what it is. And I was blown away, to be very honest. I mean, it was, Priscilla was like an 80s, 90s disco show, and the drum sounded huge for it. It was exactly what I wanted.
No, definitely.
So they definitely did an amazing job.
No, then that's absolutely awesome. And I mean, I know you're used to the 4099, which is what is currently as the drum staple within DPA, with a nice gooseneck, and you're able to angle it and move it to exactly where it is you want on the kit, which is very nice.
Oh, that's so cool.
And now we've got another addition to the family of microphones, being the 4055, specifically tailored for the kick drum. And obviously from the design, as you can see, very, very nice and compact, very sturdy, made for the touring sort of life. So if you're going to be moving from place to place with this mic, it can definitely handle that. And as you'll see from the design, it's very symmetrical, so you're able to fit the whole microphone, as well as the clip, right into the sound hole, which is very nice. And you can push that forward to get a little bit more attack from the beta, and you can bring it a little bit back if you're trying to get a little bit more low end. And as we've been discussing, it is a flat response mic. So as you'll have seen from other mics that are available in the industry, their frequency response has slight dips and bumps in certain areas that are nice for a certain type of drum sound that you may be looking for from a certain drum. But the advantage of the 4055 is that you get a flat response, so it doesn't matter what it is you're putting it against. You know that you're getting the true the truest rendition of that kick drum. And I mean, I'd love to know from you as a drummer, what you put so much time into getting the kit right, and that's your instrument, that's what you're there to do. What do you feel about getting a set of mics that really represents what you are hearing when you're playing the kit? What does that do for your sound? Is that something you're looking for? Just give us your thoughts on what you think about that.
So I think from my point of view, that is the most important part for me, whether it's recording or live. I think, the way every drum is different, we all play differently. We've all got these little things that make us who we are. And that's just the sound aside, that's just us. So mix that with the way we tune our kit, the type of equipment we use, the skinners we use, whatever it is, the drum kit we use. We want that to be best reflected. When you've got pre-tailored, pre-EQ'd stuff, everyone starts to sound similar no matter what you're playing. So I always prefer flat everything. I mean, even when it's recording studio stuff, I would love to capture more of a natural kit sound, and then from there you can do whatever you want. If you still want to go for that standard, EQ, you can do it afterwards, but you've got the frequencies to play with.
Exactly.
Whereas if everything is taken out or it's boosted from the get-go, it is very limiting. You're going to spend more time cleaning up and I think going backwards, as opposed to getting a good bass and going from that. So I think
and to touch further on that, I mean, the flat response actually, when you had to listen to the samples, you'll find that it actually doesn't, people would think a flat response kick drum mic would mean less low end,
Yeah.
and that's not really the case. It just gives you a more rounder, tighter sort of a sound, and I think that's going to work very well in the mixing environments where people are wanting to get that punch, but they're always resorting to stuff like compressors, limiters, etc. And this would at least guide them and give them that little bit more of a natural sound, and hopefully they won't have to lean too much on those tools to get what they're looking for, and sort of lean towards the mic to give them the full frequency response. And I wanted to know what your thoughts were on the 4055 on the bass drum based on the samples that we played for you, and your just first take on it.
Yeah, I mean, this was the first time I ever listened to the mic, so it was very interesting. And I think I even mentioned to you when I was listening, I said, it doesn't sound like a flat mic. Even though it doesn't sound like everything's muted and like, all the frequencies are level.
Yeah, it's just a dead, bland sort of...
it sounded, you got the low end. You got that low end from the front edge, but you also got so much punch. You could hear that beater striking the skin, which is what you want. So... having that, and then if you want to boost the low end or take some of the boxiness, I didn't even hear a lot of muddiness and boxiness, to be honest.
Yeah.
And normally there's a pre-cut there, you know, to take that away, and there wasn't, which is crazy for me. So I was really impressed. In the samples, there was you could hear like a really fat low-end old Ludwig vintage kit that was tuned really low. Like you could hear the wrinkles were still in the skin. And this thing captured that low end so well. It didn't start like disappearing, Normally it kind of thins out. So I was really impressed listening back to the samples.
And I mean, when we look at what's also available out there, when you think about most kick mics, we were talking about it earlier, most of them are usually dynamics.
Yes.
Whereas now we've got a condenser element, a pre-polarized condenser element. And that's also an open cardioid. So it's not like a super cardioid or a tight cardioid. It's not doing a lot of rejection. It's an open cardioid, and that obviously, the pros, the dynamics are, they're much easier to manufacture. They have less noise often. However, these are a little bit more expensive to manufacture. They depend on 48 Phantom, but 48 volts Phantom, sorry.
Yes.
But they are a more detailed sort of element to be using to capture the sound. And I think that's also going to be a very big game changer as well, because that's not what people are usually used to. I think it's great to have a mic that gives you the true representation of the sound, and then you decide, okay, we don't want to go, I want to add more bass, not that it's already too much, and you now need to be working backwards to try and change things.
You know what the thing I thought of as well immediately when I was listening to that, I thought, as us drummers, especially with COVID now, we all looking to build our own sort of studios, and I think most of us have started doing that, so we can record remotely, but it gets expensive. So from our point of view, when we're not professional engineers, sound engineers or anything, we limit it, and there's normally like an 8-channel sound card or whatever interface that you run through. So the luxury of us getting 2 mics in a kick drum is not really a reality. So to take something like this, where you can actually hear the low end and the slap in the higher end, whereas instead of putting something straight through by the beater head and then getting a large diaphragm condenser on the outside to capture that low end, you can literally just pop this straight in and you get both.
Exactly.
And you can mix them as you would 2 microphones and blend them.
And it's a nice best of both worlds.
Exactly. I mean, that's just, like you said, that's just raw off the bat, just listening to these raw samples. So it really impresses me, to be honest.
What are you looking for when you're thinking about a kick drum sound? What is it that's most important to you as a player? What are you looking for?
Heavy, fat sound, all round sound. Like it gotta sound and look believable.
Okay.
Like as in, when I hit that, when I just hit that stroke right now, the person in the back should hear it. Feel my passion as I play the drum. So I want to be the drum kit itself. So it's very important to have good miking.
Okay.
So the whole round, fat sound, flat as well. Just feel the drum. Be the drum itself.
So you're more of a natural sound. That's what you're trying. That's what you're trying to get out there to your audience.
A natural sound, sounding drum.
All
that way, even as you play your drums, the way it comes off on the mics, on the speakers, it has to be believable. Someone at the back should hear that. Okay, I feel that dude playing drums. it's here.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And the nice thing is that, now that we've got the 4055, the new mic that's now just been added to DPA's roster of microphones, specifically made for the kick drum. I know that the one thing we were talking about it is that it being super small and nice and compact. Compact is just something nice. Yes, something nice, small, precious that you can take with you. So in your previous experiences in gigs, I know the kick drum is obviously that main element. That's what you're looking to put a lot of emphasis on, because that's what's carrying the body of the drum. What not so good experiences have you had with the kick drum in some of your gigs?
I must say that I've had some really, really embarrassing moments.
Yeah.
At shows. Things like as you play, the drum sounds echoed in a way, and that's obviously because the tuning of it is bad, which is from the engineering side, and also the mic that they use.
Yeah.
So for me, it's been. Yeah, I've had some better days.
You've had some better days. Yeah, and what we're looking to do is obviously with the 4055 is obviously try and minimize that for people like you and engineers out there. And just try and minimize all those issues and make sure that we have a nice natural sounding drum, kick drum. Never mind what kick drum it is, because I know that you may go to a gig with more than one. You may not use the same kit. You may have one kit for one style of play, and if you're doing jazz the one day, and if you're doing pop the next, you may want to change your drum and move over to something else. And the lovely thing about the 4055 is that with its flat response, it will give you the same consistent clarity and pickup between the two different drums. And I think that's also quite important because different drums have different types of styles of sounds. True. And I mean, is that something that you look out for? Is that something you do a lot where you're changing kits, or you mainly stick with one?
I mainly ask for one drum. That is, whoever show with regards to wherever you go to is very important. I believe. I don't know about other drummers, but for me personally, I prefer to have one stable drum that I know that I use on every gig, because I can just fine tune them as well. And obviously, having a mic like this would definitely come in handy.
Yeah.
In terms of how it sounds on the speakers and shows and what.